Right, that's Lisa Fisher, Chain of Broken Hearts. Hey, welcome everyone. This is the Buzz Studio W, your global radio network. We circle this thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with some of the finest shows you can find anywhere on this globe right here. And now it's time for Groove Swing Speaks. We come to you each and every Tuesday. That's 4 p.m. on the West, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Hey, tell your friends about it. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook Live, or three pages. We have three Facebook pages. All right. LinkedIn. We're also on Alexa. You can go to our website, studio.buzz, studio.w.buzz, studio.w.buzz, and also Apple. If you have an Apple app, go on and download that app. You can take it with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Home, gym, office, or play. We're here all day long. And now, welcome to the set. I see one of my panelists. I see one of my panelists there, Tiffany Hilliard. Tanisha's trying to log in, and we have a special guest with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And his name is Mr. Archie Logan. Let me tell you a little bit about this gentleman. Archie Logan started his life as a musician at the tender age of 8. His uncle
Hey
saw the
man,
gift.
I
Uh,
wasn't tender at 8 years old.
I said at the tender age.
The
See,
tender
you
age,
starting already.
man.
He's
And look,
also a comedian. At the well, I'm reading your bio. Tender age of 8. Archie, calm down. Okay. So, this gonna be a great. Oh, it's starting off already. It's gonna be great. He's quite the jokester as well, right? Uh,
I'm
his uncle
playing. I'm
saw
I'm
the
sorry,
gift.
man.
Yeah, okay, all right. His uncle saw the gift God had instilled in him and helped Archie nurture his gift in church. Archie very soon ventured out to play different styles of music. Archie is known as a hard hitting pocket drummer. I like that. Whose smoking grooves raise the level of excitement in any musical situation. Archie is a bass player's best friend because he locks in and stays right there. As quoted by several extraordinary bass players, he is a true workhorse and strives to be the best he can as a musician and businessman. Archie has traveled and worked with, get this, and or shared the stage with many of the industry's top artists, gospel and secular alike. This includes top artists such as let's see, gospel, Roberta Flack, incomparable Roberta Flack, Mars Day and the Times, Vicky Winans, Jennifer Hudson, Charlie Wilson, Karen Clark Sheard, Dorinda Clark Cole,
It
Smokey
appears that
Norville,
the
Avant.
gentleman, Brian, might be having a little bit of technical difficulties, so he's working on that for a little bit. But just definitely want to welcome everyone, if you haven't already, to episode 70 of Groove Swing Speaks. And I wanted to also say welcome to our panelists again. Tiffany, Tanisha, sisters, welcome aboard. And also to our special guest, Archie Logan. Now, if you probably might have seen a little bit or have heard a little bit about Archie's bio, we'll go into a little bit further detail because he has worked with some of the most incomparable artists,
Yes,
including Roberta Flack, one of my favorite groups,
I
Morris
already
Day and the
mentioned that.
Time. They also on the gospel side, we have Karen Clark Sheard, Dorinda Clark Cole, Smokey Norville, Marvin Sapp, as well as Charlie Wilson, Naughty by Nature, Nick Cannon. The list goes on and on. And also, he's had an opportunity to play for a couple of various different national committee parties, including also the 2008 inauguration of President Barack Obama. But basically, the idea is his music and his influence spreads to many different people across many different generations and many different times. And that's something that definitely is very few and far between when it comes down to musicians in this day and time. So, want to welcome to Groove Swing Speaks today is Archie Logan.
How you doing?
Okay. All right. Thank you for taking over there, Robert. Uh, now, hey, Robert,
Hey,
I'm not sure where you got me.
wait. Robert
I'm not
came
sure.
out and was like, "Yo, Well can't read that good. I'm gonna
Just,
take over."
oh,
But I
okay.
was just helping out. The connections were a little bit shaky, if I could see it. So basically, you always
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
have your hand man, or you gotta have your right hand woman by your side is ready to jump in when necessary. And sometimes that does happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not, it's not
You did that
overshadowing you
part.
because I definitely know you're the man. But that's just making it out there.
That's okay, Robert. That's quite all right, my brother. That's quite all right. All right. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have jumped in. All right. Okay.
We appreciate you,
Anyway,
Robert.
hey. Yeah.
Well, he's got his
What
jumpsuit on, you know.
Yeah. We thank you so
we
very much for making me sound so good.
yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Robert, do you mind if I jump back in? Is that okay, Robert?
Oh, it's your show. Your name's on it. We're just here to support.
No, actually, it's our show. It's our show. But I appreciate you, brother. At least, I know with you guys, I always have backup. All right. So anyway, hey, welcome to the set, Archie, and thank you so much. And let me introduce to you Tiffany Hilliard, Tanisha Holmes, and brother Robert Hicks. Okay, and we do this each
Greeting.
and every Tuesday. And the idea is to showcase the best in our culture, whether it's music, education, medicine, architecture, whatever it is, we showcase us because the mainstream media. How do they show us? Okay, they don't give us our due props, and so today is yours. So I want to ask a few questions, and then the panel will jump right on in. You just like Robert listed so many great artists, and you mentioned something, and you and I talked about this off air. That drummer is the bass player's best friend. Tell us, what did you mean about that?
Well, come to music, man. You know, when you listening to anything, what makes you bob your head is the beat and the low end. And to me, that's the foundation of uh the feel and the rhythm of the song. So when people say rhythm section, I don't care what nobody says. You only talking about the drums and the bass. They can
That's
say
right.
you're talking about the keyboard, the organ, whatever it is. But to me, the rhythm section is drums and bass. I could do a whole show with just a bass player, um, and it'll feel good. With a good, you gotta have a
Mhm.
good singer though, because if the singer is trash, it's gonna be messed up when he ain't got no melody. But yeah, drums and bass. My best friend is a bass player, so even in real when I tour, if I'm with a bunch of musicians that I don't know, the first person I become friends with outside of the situation is the bass player because he gotta like me on and off the stage.
Mhm. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you and I had a conversation prior to the show, and I was telling you about how I went to a concert, and I went, and everyone that went, they were excited to see War. And you guys remember that old group War? You remember that? And the bass player couldn't make it. No, I'm sorry, the drummer couldn't make it. He was sick, and so before the show started, the lead singer he says, "Well, look, guys, we got our bass player is sick, so we have someone filling in." So I kind of knew then that it wasn't going to be the way I expected, and it was horrible. The drummer wasn't there. I mean, their drummer wasn't couldn't make it, and it was the worst concert I've ever been to. So I agree with you wholeheartedly about that. Everybody needs a drummer, and when I'm looking on stage, or whether so I'm on TV or I'm in a live concert, I said, "Wow, man, that drummer's in the pocket. He's in the pocket." You know, and so quiet as it kept, and not so quiet. That drummer is the fabric. I mean, the thing that keeps it together. Let's go to Tiffany right now. Tiffany.
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
Um,
Tiffany.
My question to you is, when you first got started playing music, was it something that you knew right off gate, like, okay, this is me, this is what I want to do, or was it something that you kind of had to get a feel for and be like, I'm not sure, you know what I mean?
Nah,
Because
I always knew I wanted to play the drums. When I was a kid, man, I used to sit in the front row, and I would take the little programs that they give
Mhm.
you in church, and I would roll them up like drumsticks, and I would watch my uncle play in the front seat, and I would play air drums while church was going on, and I
Yeah.
would hear beats while the preacher was preaching. So I would be playing drums in the front seat while he preaching. Like I didn't need to hear the word of God. I needed to hear this beat that was coming through.
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying? It had to come out, and that beat was more important than what God had to say at the moment. And
God.
so my uncle, my mother's oldest brother, he he had five, well, four boys and a girl. He had five kids, and you know, I had a close knit family, and so he would come over and they would make it. You know how you make the kids sing and all that different stuff.
Mhm.
So they started making us sing together, and we started a gospel group because him and his brothers had a group, and we would follow them around.
It was a
And
quartet group.
quartet, yes, yes, man. What you
I
know about
love a
quartet?
quartet. My aunt, she had two groups of her own, so I'm
Yeah,
big on quartet music.
yeah, quartet. I came up in quartet when Casey and JoJo was Little
Okay,
Cedric and the Haley Singers.
I heard about that.
Yeah, when they were doing quartet, I remember being young, watching. Well, you know, they're a little bit older than me, but watching
Mhm.
them before they even became,
Mhm.
you know, what we know now as Jodeci.
Right.
And their father had them in Maryland, so I was in Connecticut, and they would come up and they would tear the house down. And
Mhm.
this is before they came down to, you know, North Carolina,
Mhm.
and you know, really took off. But yeah, so yeah, quartet gospel. And so my family, in all honesty, to this day we call my uncle Joe Jackson because we would get beat for not doing it right.
Oh wow.
And we would
Mm.
be in there from 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to 11 o'clock at night. We would have 12-hour rehearsal days just to get it right. And we were straight quartet. I mean, now I look at it like, man, I hated it then, but I
Mhm.
look back and, you know, the bond that I have with like my cousins now, we're not cousins, we're more like brothers. They can walk in here and come in my refrigerator right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it built a bond way back then because I
Mhm.
have no brothers. I have a
Mhm.
sister, but I have no brothers.
Mhm.
And they are like my brothers, and it all stemmed from music and their father beating the hell out of me when I was a kid for playing the wrong beat. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
know I know what Jermaine and Marlon and Tito and Michael, I know what they went through.
Do you think those
Oh, wow.
12-hour rehearsals, do you think back then they helped you prepare or be where you are today?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, like if I have a show and if my band is going out, I rehearse them like that.
Mm.
I just don't beat them. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
Okay.
Tanisha?
Okay, I had quite a bit of questions. So, Connecticut, what part of Connecticut?
New Haven.
All right, so I
New,
was conceived in New Haven. My family are from New Haven, West Haven by the Rock, something like that, the
okay.
big rock.
Yeah, I
My
got
grandfather, you know what I'm talking about?
yes,
Okay,
man.
so I wonder if we're related. Who knows? But you never know.
Nah,
You know.
I ain't got no good looking women in my family, so nah,
Oh, okay.
that's not it. That's not it.
Uh-oh.
So have you thank you. Have you managed anybody before? Like managed like any upcoming artists?
Nah, that's too stressful.
That's too stressful. Okay.
Yeah, that's too
Mm.
stressful.
Okay. And let me ask you another question. For someone like myself who's like learning my saxophone again, I've been learning just the different sheet music. Did you have to learn the different sheet music and the notes and things like that too as well, or you just basically play by the ear?
I'm only by the air.
Okay.
Um, I never wanted to know what a whole note was.
Okay.
I never wanted to
Mm.
know what a quarter note was,
Hmm.
a rest, or anything. It, wa- it just didn't never do nothing for me. I had a full
Okay.
ride to school after I graduated high school, and I was like, yeah, I'd rather go out here and play.
Okay. So you think
Mm.
it's better just to kind of learn by the ear versus actually just playing by the quarter note, half notes, like you said, rest and continue on and take a breath here, don't take a breath, the two dots here and things like
Um,
that too as well.
I'm not against it for somebody else.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? But like, you know, all of that is cool. But I have friends
Hmm.
who are amazing musicians, man.
Hmm.
And I I used to play with them before they went to college,
Okay.
and I remember how raw they were.
Hmm.
Even as I got older, I had younger friends. They were so raw as musicians, like a bass player.
Hmm.
They were raw, like just straight raw talent. You couldn't top it. You couldn't top the feel. Everything
Hmm.
felt good. It was just like the perfect situation. They knew how to fit the puzzle.
Mhm.
But they went to school and learned what a quarter note was and what a whole note was, and then they became real
Mhm.
precise. And to me, it took away the feel. They had to get their feel back.
Hmm.
While they were in school,
Mm.
they lost the feel, but they had to go back and reach back in the bag and go back to where it was beforehand. Now, you got the feel again, but it's more like, okay, all right, I know what it feels like, but this is what it's supposed to be notation wise.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I see what you're saying.
so
Okay. Hmm.
yeah, so I'm all about the feel, man. I'm like James Brown. Everything, everything is a beat. Everything is a drum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And do you like
Absolutely.
jazz? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Will
Oh,
do you do
I,
any jazz music?
I love jazz.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
cool. It depends on what kind of jazz you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Contemporary jazz, smooth jazz,
Smooth.
infused. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Okay.
I have good friends in the smooth jazz industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my more of my arena.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
What was the
I love
last
some jazz.
concert you went to?
Kim Waters and Lindsay Webster.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
And the next one, oh, let me do an announcement. We're doing a Malcolm and Jamal Warner jazz event on June 14th at 8 o'clock in Norfolk, Virginia at the Attic Theater. It starts at 8 o'clock. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo
And
Huxtable.
listen, I ran into him. He called me
Hmm.
some years ago to put his band together. We were at Winston Salem
Hmm.
for the what was the you call it, the theater festival that they
Hmm.
had every
Hmm.
other year down there,
Hmm.
and he was actually the special guest musician they had for the main show. And I got a call one day, and this guy put me on the phone. He was like, "Yeah, I got this guy. He's a bass player, and
Hmm. Sure is.
he needs a band."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Yo, I'm like, yo, tell him to call me. Well, we only got a quick rehearsal the day before, and the show was the next night." And he said he needs the best musicians in the area. I was like, all right, cool. He said, yeah, it's Malcolm Jamal Warner. I
Hmm.
busted out laughing. I was
Hmm.
like you said, Theo Huxtable.
Yeah.
I was like,
Hmm.
he don't play no bass.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And literally I got a chance to, I wasn't actually able to do the show because I was in the middle of a run myself, but I came in for the rehearsals.
Hmm.
And he actually is pretty good. If
Yeah.
you guys don't know him, he's dope. Like
I meet him next week. I'll meet him next weekend on the 14th. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be working with them next weekend.
This had to be at
Mhm.
least 15 years ago,
Oh yeah.
and he shocked me.
Okay.
He's actually just as good on bass as he is an actor.
Oh wow. Okay. Looking forward
Yeah,
to
Wow.
it.
Oh, incredible, incredible stuff. You know,
yeah.
Robert.
Yes, absolutely. And I was definitely say that it's going to be a great time had by all. One thing that you basically said that when you started out with drumming, um, to say specifically in your bio, basically said you had instilled in you basically when you started off in the church. And what did you see that as maybe RJ as a gift that you just wanted to expand a little bit more, or where did you really do with the skill that basically which you are a percussionist? Uh, but they say when people say drummer, but really as a percussionist because you are the heartbeat.
So, a gift, absolutely. Because in all honesty, I don't think I could play a lick of drums. I think I think my
Hmm?
charm and my talk game put me in places where I need to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I look at cats now, and I'm like, man, these cats are amazing. But it's definitely a gift of God because gift from God. Um, because I don't when I sit down, I don't know what I'm doing. I play, and people never
That's
understood
interesting.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I can jump on a plane and listen. I can take an hour flight and listen to your show that's an hour long, and I can get off the plane and play your show. But I can't remember your birthday. Sometimes I can't even remember your name. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? But I can listen to your show while I'm sleeping and wake up and know your entire show. And I will play it verbatim to what your drummer before, if I'm filling in with the drummer before me or the drummer I'm filling in for, I can play what they play. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the gift right there. The gifting is anybody can play a drum set, anybody can play a keyboard, right? Anybody can play a bass. I can learn it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can play it. Um, but everybody can't make it in the industry with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yes.
my that's my gift from God. Like that's one of those things like uh that you wake up every morning and you thank God for life. You thank God for letting you breathe, but then you thank God for the gift that He gave you to make a living. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Without even choosing the artist that I played for, or traveled around with or anything like that, I found it more rewarding to play with a corporate band, like
Hmm.
playing covers. I did that for like freaking 7, 8 years. And then I left that show and that gig because that was really wasn't a show, it was just a gig. And I started uh being a music director for a Michael Jackson tribute show. And I did that and I arranged for them. I was the music director, I arranged the show for them, the whole nine. And I did that for another 10 years up until pretty much the pandemic happened.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so um it was never a thing about, oh, this artist or that artist. It was just like I wanted to play, I want to do my thing, and I'm not even qualified to do it by paper.
Yeah. That's
So
yeah.
you gotta. I played for Roberta Flack, and I wasn't qualified to sit nowhere near that lady.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? She put sheet music in front of me, and I couldn't read it. I was like Nick Cannon in Drumline. I was acting like I was reading.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But I
Mhm.
learned. She hired me on the spot because of the feel that I had. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do nothing
Mhm.
spectacular. You know what I'm saying? So um, when I say gift, I mean that's truly a gift from God.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To this day, I haven't, and you may not know this, but I retired from drums right during the pandemic. Officially retired in 2023, but I haven't really touched a drum set in 5 years. But
Hmm.
at the same time,
Amazing.
when I'm not like doing my other job, like I own an entertainment trucking company now. When I'm not doing that, I still sit down and I play at church, and I can still hang with the best of them. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
I got talented musicians that play at church. I can sit down and hang with the best of them. Not that I'm the best, but
Mm.
it's God's gift that brought me to the point where when I sit down, I don't do it. God does it. You feel a certain way when you hear me play, and that's always been my goal. God put healing in my hands, whether it's healing your heart, your mind, your soul. Heal that when you hear me play. As I hit a drum, God, like, help somebody get through what they're going through before they got here. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When I hit a cymbal, let it ring in their ears and heal their heart from whatever broke it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So, passion wise, um, the passion left for a while. And I don't mean to take, I know y'all got questions, but you ask me a question and you bring God into it. So it leads me into the point where I have to talk about what God is to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my passion lies at now, what God has done for me because how my life is. And so, when I look at music and it's a gift, I lost the passion for it during the point where I lost my son. I didn't want to touch music anymore. You know what I'm saying? But God told me people's healings were still in my hand, was in my hands. I still had to do the work. You know what I'm saying? When I was brokenhearted, I had to heal somebody else's heart. When
Right.
my mind was
Mm.
going crazy, I
Mm.
had to heal somebody else's mind.
Yes.
When I was depressed, I had to play somebody out of depression. And I didn't do that in the church. I did that in arenas all across this country.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I did that while niggas was smoking weed right beside me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Mm.
Mhm.
I did that while I was drunk on tequila. You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? Yeah, yeah. Robert smiled because he know what that Casamigos do. But yeah, I did that. You know, I didn't do it, but God did that in those arenas, in those places.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about the gift from God, that's the gifting. That's the true gifting.
Right.
Of
Mm-hmm.
course. And you mentioned everything that you were going through, Archie, and the fact is, no matter how much people that we sometimes feel that we're trying to stray away from the gift or using the gift, it's not up to us to when to say that we can use the gift or not. If it's a calling for it, it's going to happen. The idea is just to be able to do it, and that could be with any
Mm-hmm.
talent anybody has.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
yes, that's but you gave it. I mean, you basically used the gift from the calling from above, and basically now you've helped out so many people that they can't help but be thankful and grateful for what you've done. Thanks.
Archie, you and I talked off air, and I told you, and I know you're a funny guy, and you told me that, hey man, look, I'm gonna bring the jokes. And I said, hey, bring it, because two of the greatest gifts that God has given us is music and laughter. Music
Right.
and laughter, and I love both of them. And something else I had, as a matter of fact, I was doing a show, a radio show, about a year or so ago, and the discussion came up with musicians that read sheet music versus musicians that play by the ear. And I came to the conclusion that musicians that play by the ear, it is something special about that. I mean, I think it's genius to be able to hear something and then duplicate that and play it on an instrument, because it's a natural, it's more natural. Growing, I went to college, and of course, I was well, not of course, but I was a music major, and I learned how to play sheet music. But I also had some friends that couldn't read music, and they weren't in the band, but they could sit down at the piano, hear a song, and play it. To me, that's genius, and that is a true gift, because you're not reading. And okay, let's put it like this: reading is mechanical, but when you get
Mhm.
in and you play from your ear, that is emotional to me, and
that's
it
that's
kind of, to me,
that's just
is absolutely genius.
That's just like being with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Do a woman want a man who's gonna read a poem that was written years ago, or does she want a man gonna speak from his heart?
That's
You
it.
understand what I'm saying?
That's it.
You know,
Absolutely
it,
natural.
it, it's natural. It's when when we talk about music, when we're in rehearsals, we use love making, sex, or whatever to describe how this is supposed to feel. You know what I'm saying? Drive that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like make love to this music. You know what I'm saying? That's how we describe it. And it's a little difficult when you got a woman in the band. You got to change up the way you talk, but for the
Of
most
course.
part, you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, that we describe it like that. So, reading sheet
Mhm.
music, I'm just reading a poem by Nikki Giovanni or somebody. Um,
Mhm.
when I'm playing by ear, it's coming from the heart. You
That's
know,
it.
you know.
Well, if you go to a concert and you listening or you seeing an artist on stage and he or she is singing, I think the one that's singing from their heart, those are the one that connects with the audience. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely,
a lot of people can carry,
absolutely.
yeah, a lot of people can carry a tune, but are you really connecting? And I think that's the difference between a great artist and one who's just good. I feel that way. Also, I want to get into. I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you.
Okay,
You've played and or on stage with several artists. What was the funniest and who was the most fun to play with?
Mhm.
man, man. Oh, you asking me to go back 30 years? Let
Yep.
me see. I can't remember what I did yesterday. Uh, I think during the time I was doing this Michael Jackson tribute show, it's called Who's Bad, and we had a Michael Jackson impersonator that couldn't sing but could dance really well. Then we had one that could sing really well but couldn't dance. And I think the funniest thing was watching the one that couldn't dance moonwalk till he moonwalked himself off the side of the stage. I think I I think that's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I haven't seen somebody doing more or backslide into that realize uh, I
And
have nothing underneath me here. What
and,
the?
and and see, we used to play for a lot of white folk. So when he fall off the
Oh man.
stage, he fell on a bunch of white girls. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the funniest thing I've probably ever, encountered on
So
stage. I mean,
what did you do?
that's
Did you
one of
keep on playing?
yeah, nigga, that nigga wasn't stopping my check. We had to get this show done. My money important. He be all right. Catch you tomorrow, nigga.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. Hey, and how was it with now
Excuse
did you
me.
play with or were you on the same show with Morris Day and the time? Because I think Morris Day is hilarious.
So I was with another band, and Morris Day um was on the show. Me playing for Morris Day was only one song, and that's because when we were in sound check, I teased Jelly Bean, which is his drummer, and I was like, I could play 777 9311 note for note,
Mm.
and he said, "Prove it." And there are
Uh-oh.
not many people that could play that beat note for note if you remember it. And
I do.
so my on stage with him was to play that one song in the middle of the show without any without any machines or anything. So I was able to, but I was on the same show. I even got the picture of that night in my phone right now.
Oh man.
And
Oh
yeah,
man.
Nice, nice.
yeah.
And that's a matter of fact, if you could Remember that song you heard? That is a difficult beat on that song. You
Oh,
know, it
absolutely.
has so many different that the
It's too
changes up in there. Man, go on,
so
brother.
the conversation. I wanted to know how Prince came up with the beat.
Mm,
It's three different old school machines that he used. It was a Simmons
mm,
machine. I can't remember the other two, but a Simmons beat machine was one of the machines that he used, and he put three beats together. And that how it happened on accident
Mm.
because they had one machine slaving everything else, and it started.
okay.
So basically, when I say slave the other ones, when you hit play, it makes the other ones play at the same time.
Mhm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
were programming in one machine, the machine that was slaving the other two, and so they were programming the initial 2/4 of it, the initial groove of the song. So when they went to play back and he hit the play button, the other two machines started, and that's how you came up with the beat because it was like it was confusion at first, and it was like, oh my god, this sound is dope, and that's how they came up with that beat.
Right.
I always wanted to know the story, like who was the genius who came up with that beat, but it was actually by accident. Prince hit the button to play back the beat he had just programmed, and two other machines started, and it synced up correctly, and that's how that song, you know, became what it was.
Oh, great
Nice.
story.
Yeah,
But you were playing the actual set. You were playing the
yeah,
actual, and you were
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's one of my things now. When I sit down to play, every now and again, I just pull it out just to play it to see if I can still do it.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
okay.
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask this, and then I'm gonna toss it back over to Tiffany. And uh, who was the most difficult artist to work with?
Mm.
Uh,
I mean, if you can say it, if you rather not, it's
uh,
okay.
difficult. I don't think I ever had a difficult artist to work with. Um, the most
Mm.
tedious artist to work with was Roberta Flack.
Whoa,
Um,
perfectionist, huh?
it's so much perfection in that lady, man. Um, it's uh, it's uh, it's like watching freaking Michael Jordan, a genius at the game. Like she's like watching
Mm-hmm.
the greatest ever. Like to me, she that like when she was a lot or when she started out, that's when you had to really get dig into this. And I don't think she ever got the credit she deserved. She had to be one of
I
the
agree.
most talented, the most I mean, she's so trained, her ear is amazing. Um she has to be the greatest artist to ever female artist to walk the face of this earth, in my opinion, because I saw
Whoa,
her work ethic. I saw what she did with my own two eyes. She is amazing, and she never got what she deserved out here. Never
I
got what she
agree.
deserved because you
I
think
agree.
about Donny Hathaway, as great as he was, she was really the backbone of every one of them songs.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mm.
And she also plays the keyboard. She plays the piano, right?
she played the piano for herself. Yep. She
She
very
does. She
rarely
does.
ever
And
stood up
one
to
thing,
play to sing.
one of my favorites. I was playing this last night. Reverend Lee set the what is it? Set the night to music is another one of hers, I believe, and
Yeah.
on and on and on. I agree with you 1,000,000%. She does not, has never gotten the credit that she deserves. Man, I've been listening to her for decades. Just an
Hmm.
amazing, amazing artist. Amazing
Yes,
artist.
sir. She
Tiffany.
sure is.
Um, so I know a little bit about just a little bit about the music. Um, do you guys have the best time at, I forgot the name of it, what it's called when all the musicians get together and you guys just, okay, it'd be like the drummer. they do their thing. Then the bass, they do their thing. What is it called when y'all get in y'all space? Where
Solos,
not it's not solos. It's oh my god. I think it
like the
Hmm.
starts with an
jam
A.
session.
Yeah. It's just the jam session itself. Is that when you have the most fun? When you know what I'm saying? Because you guys are able to just everybody just do their thing individually and then just
No.
come together.
Me, the most fun I had is when I
Mm,
look at my bank account and that direct deposit hit my account,
I know
and
that's
we
right.
out and we got an off day, and
Listen.
I'm
Yep.
out here and I can go down to a boutique and I can get some fresh Jordans, the ones that just dropped, and you know that's the time of my life right there.
I got
Okay.
you. I got you.
Okay.
My other question is okay, are you in North Carolina now or where are you located?
Hey, listen, why are you asking all these questions about where I live at?
No. Because I'm trying to see, you know what I'm saying, if you know some of my people. Or
Oh yeah, I live in North Carolina. I live in Raleigh.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm not far. I'm in Wilson. So one of my, cause you said one of your favorite things is to become best friends with the bass player, right?
Hmm.
So one of the best bass players that I know is
Jamario artist.
how you see that's what I'm talking about.
That kid is amazing.
He is, and to
Wow.
see and to know where he come from Glory Baptist. As I don't know if you knew him back
Yeah,
then.
I know Tank. I know all of them. Tank,
Yes,
Jamal, Chris Stevenson. I know all of them. Them all my guys.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. To see, man, to especially Jamario, man, like to see where he's at now
Hmm. Yeah.
and to know where he came from. The thing that I love about him and people like him is that they're so humble. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because once they get to them big stages, you know, some people change up on you. And I never encountered that vibe from him. Like I never had
No.
a one-on-one with him, but kind of just being around in that circle a little bit
He,
or
he,
seeing him
he
on interviews.
he's never that person.
Yeah,
Like he's just who he is. He's just a down home country boy. And if I run into him in the airport,
yeah,
we're gonna laugh, we're gonna joke for a few minutes, and we're gonna go on about our business. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, yeah, he's always been a great kid.
yeah. I absolutely love that about
Yeah.
musicians. Yeah, that's my thing. Um, that I'm gonna pass it on to Tanisha.
Wow.
It's my turn.
Hmm.
I'm in Raleigh too as well, so we're all close by.
All right.
So what's your take on like with all the AI and I can never say this word right, but the digital like
Mm.
musicians in the background where you can basically do like what's it called, garage band or something like that, where you can make different tracks without actually having an actual band. What's your thoughts about that? And then one more thing too. If you create a song, how do you register the song that so that nobody takes and steals your music if it want to make it your original music? There's something like some type of registry or trademark place that you can go to do that. And I can't remember, but what's your thoughts about that? And then how do you actually get your music out? But you say you haven't played for 5 years, right? But if you
Well,
were to pick back up, what would you do? What would be the process?
okay, so I don't write. I'll produce a song with someone, but
Hmm.
I don't write and things like that. I'm more like catch me on the stage. But
Okay.
to so nobody don't steal your music, copyright it.
Mhm.
You copyright it. Whatever program you're using to record, Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton's, whatever that is, they're all timestamps. So somebody stealing your music, it's your fault that your music got stolen. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I send a track to somebody, I take all the levels out where they cannot use it, period. And I will put my voice. This song is produced by Archie every few minutes when I send it to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot use my tracks. And I put make the levels all off. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use it until you send that almighty dollar. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know what just happened. I only can see William Brown now. Oh, there we go. But yeah, so that part, I'm really not. That's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I know how it's done, but it's not my thing. What was the next question? if I wanted to get back out there, what would I do?
Mm-hmm.
I'd pick up my phone and be like, "Yo, nigga, I'm back."
Mm.
Oh my god.
And they'll say, "What you mean? I need some shows. I'm ready to get back out there. It's time for me to work. Let's go. Let's make it happen."
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, "Well, I got this coming up. What you on?" And things like that. But as far as you know, AI and all
Mm-hmm.
the digital stuff or whatever, uh, it's just taking us further away from the real of the music, like what
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, we just keep going. Like I've done. So now I do what's called entertainment trucking. And entertainment trucking is basically my company hauls all the sound, lights, audio, well, video staging, and all that stuff for different
Mm-hmm.
concert tours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the only black-owned entertainment trucking company in this country. Let's start
Oh.
that. You know what I'm saying? The only black-owned in this country. There's a lot of white boys that do it, and
Mm.
they piss with this old black boy with the black truck. But
Mm.
I do that, and so I do different tours. Like just this year alone, I did the Millennium Tour 2025. I started that in March. I ended April 27th on that tour, and that was strictly Trey Songz, Omarion. It was the old school crunk R&B hip hop from the 2000s, the early 2000s. You had Yin Yang Twins and
Mm-hmm.
all that different stuff, but not a musician in sight, not a keyboard player, drummer, bass player, nothing.
Oh
Right?
wow.
I left that show on the 27th of April. I drove from LA to Chesapeake, Virginia. They
Mm.
unloaded my truck, reloaded my truck. I left on the I got from LA on to Chesapeake on the 1st of May. I left on the 3rd of May and headed back out to Las Vegas to start another show, which was the Queens tour with Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan, Stephanie Mills, Gladys Knight. Now I watched two separate sold out shows for weeks. The best show I've ever seen was that Queens tour.
Mm.
And I was watching 82-year-old women run across the stage. And I listened to their bands and I was like, you know, it was continue for 3 hours straight, nonstop soulful R&B, love
Mm.
making music. It was all like 3 hours straight. And the tech team, they had staging where Gladys Knight starts the show, the video screen lifts up, the stage turns, and when it turns, Stephanie Mills is on stage.
Wow.
Lift up the video thing, and it turns, and Patti LaBelle is on stage. Lift up the video thing, it turns, and Shaka Khan blows the roof off the building. You understand what I'm saying? So it was cool to watch Bow Wow and Trey Songz and Yin Yang from the windows to the wall. Every night I was dancing to it. But it's something about when when Shaka Khan say, "Ain't nobody love me
Mm-hmm.
better," it's just feel good. It's better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to me, digital, like it was cool to have them DJs up there doing their thing. But it's nothing like seeing. I mean, Gladys Knight drummer couldn't even walk. He was so old. That nigga had a cane, and but that he was doing this thing every night. Yeah.
Like you said, it's the gift. It's the gift that keeps giving. Like you say, it's the gift that makes room for you. So he might not have been able to walk, but he could definitely
Yeah,
still play with
yeah.
that money.
Them feet was gone. They couldn't do nothing.
Indeed.
He had a
Indeed.
cane. He had a cane.
Yes, he did. Hey, look,
That's what's up.
I've been around for years, and
Mm-hmm.
ain't too many handicapped drummers I know.
Mm-hmm.
But that brother had the handicap sign in his window in his car. But when he got on them drums, he was made whole.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Wow.
That's amazing. And you mentioned basically, Archie, the idea of music that basically stands the test of time, and
Yeah.
that in the essence of nowadays, when people kind of generate stuff with AI, that's only just going to be maybe for at least a few minutes, but versus the person who actually has that gift and to be able to use that gift to be able to belt out songs for 50 plus years.
Well,
That is something that's or any musician is able to be at that level for that long a period of time.
our
Those are
our
the things you want.
our our now society, they don't want anything. They don't want longevity.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They want it for a little while, and that's in everything. They want it for a little while, and then they want to move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, like these, to me, the kids, the younger generation, they only want it for a little bit. Then they want to move on. That's why we don't have any songs that's lasting forever, except you know, boots on the ground. Where them fans at? That's what we got. You know what I'm saying? But I think, in my opinion, I think Southern Soul is the new R&B.
Really?
Yep.
I
Mm.
think I think
Yep.
Southern
I think
Soul
so too.
is
Mm-hmm.
now the new R&B because they call Chris Brown an R&B artist, but as much as I love Chris, he's not an R&B artist. That nigga is pop. Like he's
Yeah.
like the coming of Michael Jackson. He's taking Usher's place. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
Tank, my boy, he cool. But Tank is 50 years old.
Tank still got it.
He 50 years old.
Tank still got it.
Tank
If a lot
wake up
of these
like
brothers got it,
listen,
Tank still
listen.
got it.
Tank wake up and creak and his knees pop and the check engine light on his knees is on just like mine.
He
I
needs some
said,
collagen. Tell him to take some collagen. He needs some collagen
hey,
and mushroom coffee.
hey, you can do all that, but nothing will fight Father Time. Father Time is the winner of it all. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? What you got new
Yeah.
coming out? Southern Soul.
Right.
That's
Southern Soul.
R&B. Look at Anthony Hamilton. He on his way out. Hey, look, he 50 years old too.
Don't do that.
Amazing.
Don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that is the new R&B is Southern Soul.
So when you say Southern Soul, are you talking about one of the artists named like Kevin Richardson?
Calvin Richardson,
Mm-hmm.
King George,
Mm-hmm.
Tucker,
That's
Mm-hmm.
um,
right. Sir
uh,
Charles,
Sir Charles Jones, Lazy
Jeter Jones.
June. Yeah, all of them. That's man, they got a band out of South Carolina. I mean, they killing the game live in the flesh. And then I got my homeboys. They got a band up here. They do R&B, but they throw some Southern Soul in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got a something for the people. They're my brothers. I started
Mhm.
that band with Lamont. You know what I'm saying? That's where the world is gonna need to turn back to if you need R&B.
Mm.
And neo soul is not R&B.
Nope, not at all.
Okay. Okay.
Shucks, man,
Mm.
I got a
So
list of R&B. I've got about 30. I have a song, a playlist of R&B music, 1,360 songs. I mean, we talking about. Let's see, who have we got? I've got Denise LaSalle, Shirley Brown, little King Floyd. You know, we can go
uh,
on and on and on.
well, them
Have you heard of
them
an up and coming artist called Derek the Changeman Smith?
I can't say I have.
He has a song out called "Crazy," man, and he's off the chain. He's really off the chain, man. There's no question about it. So no, Southern Soul, I believe it. Right now, I love Southern Soul music. I think it's an up and coming thing. It hasn't caught fire like I think it should be around the country and around the world, but it's coming.
Oh nah,
It's definitely coming.
it's catching when you when I talk to friends in Connecticut and New York, excuse me, and they talking about Southern soul music, oh, it done crossed them barriers.
Mm.
Right, right, right.
You know,
Mm.
it crossed them like Southern soul is the new R&B. I'm about to get in my truck tonight, and as soon as I crank my truck up, Mr. Truck Driver gonna play.
Mm.
As
Mm.
soon as I start it up
There
and
you
start,
go.
Mr. Truck Driver, you can't love me
Absolutely.
like you want and love me like I need. Hey, it's gonna play all the way till I get to New York.
As a matter of fact, I
Mm.
had him on. Who did that? Who did that song?
Mr. Truck Driver
Was it?
is by golly, what's his name? Young guy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had him on. I did. I interviewed him as well. I'm trying to come up with his name. We'll find out if, pretty soon. What
Young
I
guy.
want to
His
do real
name is
quick.
Young guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Young guy.
I've had him on. I've had him on, man. No question about it. Hey, tell us a little bit about your. You have a very interesting business right now, and that's your when you drive truck and you transport and set up music. I mean, the instrumentation for these artists now.
I just drop it
And
off.
you
I
were
don't
telling me
set up
that you
nothing.
had to come after COVID. You had to do something different.
Yeah,
So, what made
absolutely.
you go into that industry?
Okay. I don't set up anything. I just drive it. I let them do
Okay.
that. I don't touch nobody's stuff. But no, no, no. I was a drummer, and that's all I knew was playing the drums. It's my life. It's everything. And when they on March 15th, I never forget getting an email saying, "Don't leave. The world is shutting down. We can't. All shows are canceled all across the country on March 15th." Um, I was in a frenzy. I didn't know what to do.
Mm.
I was like, "How am I gonna live?" I didn't save like I was supposed to. It's almost like God coming back. And you be like, "Wait a minute, God, don't come back. I ain't saved yet. I ain't ready."
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the world to shut down. So I immediately went into survival mode. I'm a hustler. So I had to start thinking. I sold my motorcycle. I was like, at least that'll hold me for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Um, I sold a couple drum sets.
Mm.
I was like, I have to live. I didn't know, the government was gonna look out for us like that in the ways they did, especially as a musician, because musicians don't get W-2, so we can't get unemployment.
Mm.
We 1099 employees. So for them to
Right.
open up for independent contractors, that was a blessing. So there was a lot of things. I was nervous. So the first thing I did was I started a wholesale meat company. I would go down to a frozen packing joint down in Wilson, North Carolina, and I had a Sprinter, and I put a deep freezer inside the Sprinter, and I would freeze the meat, put it in there, and I would go door to door selling meat in the white folk neighborhood.
Mm,
You know why I was doing it over there? Because I could give it to my people in the black community, but the white folk had to pay for it.
absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Top dollar.
So yeah, I was off the rip. I started selling meat. I'm walking all day long, and that it was starting to get warm outside in
Mhm.
April and stuff like that. So start this meat company. I was pushing that along. Then I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not making the money. I'm losing money. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So your business is gonna fail after the first year. So did that for a little bit. Um, Then I did like what most people did, or a lot of people did. I jumped in one of them susu games. I played that susu for a little while, and I got rich off the susu. And so I'm sitting there making plans while I'm doing this money trading susu stuff. And I got enough money, and I went and bought 2 trucks. And I told a friend of mine, Latanya, I said, I want to own a trucking company.
Hmm.
And she never said no. She never said it was stupid. But just like anybody else, I don't think they believed in me. I didn't say she didn't, but a lot of people didn't believe it. Off the rip, one day I said, I'm gonna buy trucks. I'm gonna start a trucking company, and that lasted until I kept firing drivers, and so I went and got my CDLs myself.
Mm.
And so I went and got my CDLs. My very best friend, he said, "What in the world?" He said, "You're a musician. Why would you even come do this? Why would you do that?" 4 years ago. Today makes 4 years that I got my CDLs. Said,
Oh wow.
you're stupid for doing it. June 3rd, 2021. He told me I was stupid for going to get my CDLs.
Mm.
4 years later, I've grossed probably $4 million,
Wow.
$5 million.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
incredible.
When your friends say you can't do it, you know,
Yeah.
always listen to God. I'm
Yep.
at an hour. I got to get on the road, y'all. I gave you an hour. I got to get
You
on the
sure
road.
did.
Definitely.
It's been a ton of fun. It's been
Yeah.
a ton of fun. And now I think, hey, tell them before you go, tell the audience in case someone wants to hire you one of your trucks or hire you to do. How do they reach you?
You'll find me on social media, Archie Logan. Um,
Check it out, y'all.
ARCHIELOGAN.
All right, all
That's on
right.
Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at Archie AMFL Logan. A dot M dot F dot L dot. And you can only imagine what the MF between the AL stand for. That's me.
Hey, it's been a ton of fun, my friend. Hey, when you get a chance, I'm gonna put it up in the Chiron right now. And when you get hey man, please come back to visit us. I know you still have more stories to tell. There's a
Hey
lot
man,
going on with you. So hey man, appreciate your
hey,
time. Really appreciate it. And
I'm
share this
humbled that you guys allow me to come spend time with you. Hey, it means a lot. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
the pleasure's
Uh,
ours, man.
Thank you.
so, hopefully
And you
they
guys listen
enjoyed
out there,
it.
please share this broadcast. Please share this broadcast with your friends. All right. Archie, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I'm a
Thank you for
phone
having
call
me.
away.
Yes,
My
sir.
pleasure, my
Appreciate it.
friend. Hey
Y'all have
guys,
a good night.
that's a
You too.
wrap. Wrap. Hey, another episode, episode number 70, Robert, right? Of Groove
That's
Swing
right.
Speaks. Now, also, yeah, also before we go, you mentioned you sent me a text and you want to talk about Shagaz, the project that he's doing over in Africa. Do you want to share this with the audience real quick?
Yes, I do, because I know that anybody who's into understanding um, everything that's going on in the motherland. We had one of our guests, his name is Sugars, who is on the show, and one of his programs is basically talking about Shamvac, Hope Foundation for Africa. This program basically focuses on helping children in the area of Uganda to be able to make sure that they have proper supplies, running water, as well as all the various different books. And I just spoke with them recently, and Sugars is actually planning a backpack and school supply drive. So I want everyone to be able to reach out and go to his website. The website is Shomvac, that's SHOMVAC.org. And we'll put it up on the community standards as well. So
Okay.
make sure you take a look at the website and you can donate to his various different causes. Everybody needs some support, and I definitely feel that I've donated myself, and it's definitely a worthwhile cause. So, especially where education in some places of the world is sometimes limited or sometimes even suppressed, we should be able to help out where we can to provide children that have an opportunity to be able to get the supplies they need and be able to go to school and to be able to learn.
I agree 1,000%. Your last word, any last words there, Tiffany?
Yeah, I do have an announcement. Um, annual summertime groove for I think it's the Greensboro grad chapter. Let me see, make sure I got it right. Atlanta
Mhm.
region. They're having their cookout this upcoming Saturday, June 7th. Price is $25 online, $30 in person, and you can contact Derek Stansel, Fellowman Derek Stansel, for more information. So we're gonna have a good time. Their annual Groove Cookout this Saturday, June
Excellent,
7th.
excellent. And
Mhm.
Tiffany, tell us a little bit about your project again coming up this month.
Oh yes. So that was for us. I just wanted to make sure that we were still on board for lunch on the 21st. Is that what you're
Oh,
referring to?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
matter of fact, I meant to go to Tanisha. Tanisha, and tell us again about your project that's going on this month.
So Church Street Jazz and Jay Lang, they're actually going to bring in Theo Huxtable, like we mentioned earlier, which his name is Malcolm Jamal Warner. He's a bass player and he does spoken word. So he's actually going to be at the Norfolk, Virginia, at the Addicts Theater at 8 o'clock. So he's going to be performing on behalf of Church Street Jazz, Jay Lang, and myself and my aunt and the sponsor. So go ahead and get your tickets today at Eventbrite, I think. Eventbrite. And come join us. I think it's going to be a great show because we all grew up with Theo Huxtable and Bill Cosby show. So I'm looking forward to that show. So you all welcome to come.
Awesome.
Outstanding, outstanding. And Robert, Tiffany, Tanisha, guys, you're the best. Thank you so much. It's been a fun show. It's been a fun show. Episode number 70. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it locked right here each and every Tuesday for Groove Swing Speaks right here on this network. 4 p.m. on the West Coast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 5 p.m. And if you